The CNMI Board of Education failing to organize after repeated attempts.
This is the first time that I've encountered, and our focus as PSS is to continue the operation and make sure that the schools are open to provide services for our students.
The first meeting was set in January, and due to conflicts, it was moved to February. But at that meeting, two board members, Andrew Orsini and Herman Atalig, walked out after their motion for an executive session before holding their organizational meeting was denied by three other members.
It's stalling the whole system, and so it's really a travesty that it continues to happen. Having a quorum just to have the organizational session should not be an issue.
But Atalig tells KUAM that the board scheduled the meetings knowing that he was not available due to a medical appointment and Orsini was off island. He says his concerns continue to fall on deaf ears and an executive session is needed to discuss sensitive matters. He says they silenced our voices and took away my freedom of speech. My major issues with the officers are our lack of direction, transparency, accountability, fiscal responsibility, and communication. They are not leading, they are being led by an internal force. Orsini telling us that it's just a matter of finding the time and that the mandatory 4-person quorum for the 5 voting members of the board is the main barrier. But 3 board members voting against Orsini and Atalig paint a more complicated picture.
Member Orsini said that he wanted updates because he hadn't met since December. And then Member Atalig said that he wanted to discuss the rules, quote unquote, rules of engagement for the election. And they both wanted to discuss that in executive, which is inappropriate and against our regulations.
Board member Antonio Borjas says, I do not believe any further accommodation is warranted. If anyone is owed an accommodation, it is our students, teachers, and staff that require a fully functioning board. We do not need to accommodate board members in order for them to do their jobs. Board member Greg Borjas says he's aware of the public outcry as a result of the board's failure. He says one issue is related to the duties and powers of board members. He tells KUAM that there is disagreement in allowing the operations to be managed solely by the Commissioner of Education. However, he says, I am willing to put aside my differences in order to meet in fashion that is respectful for all members involved. However, I am unwilling to discuss items in an executive session that are unallowable by law. The board is expected to meet on March 22nd to try again and hopefully put students first. Tomas Manglonia, KUAM News, Saipan.